Hello, everyone. This is Ken Cutter with Match 4 of the BattleShopper Breakdown Mono Sapphire Empress. Let's get to it. We won the flip. A-okay on this one. Now, unsure what we're playing, so I'm actually going to go... I think I want to go with the slow shard here. Unsure as to what our opponent is going to battle us with. I would hate to waste the focus on acquiring maybe like, you know, a skittering cultivator when the opponent is on a strangle deck versus trying to go deeper with, you know, maybe something powerful like, oh yeah, all right. So opponent is presenting what I think is going to be a grindy control deck. So hero fall, hero fall, hero fall. I think we're going to take another focus here. I don't want to take a second prompt and set us up to get beat up by a hero fall, so we're looking for a magistrate or take a Shardsworn. Next turn it'll probably be Shardsworn plus slow shard. No, we're actually up on shards now. Yep. Alright. Good old Tribunal Magistrate. Can't strangle it. Has to show us the hero fall. Slow shard. Ooh-wee. I wonder if they're going to be disappointed or just sad. Alright, so I thought our opponent was going to be the Blood Diamond control deck. It looks like they're a little bit spicier. Well, while we get beat up pretty bad by a hero fall, cannot resist, or sorry, not being able to get the diligence trigger on the Midnight Gatherer seems pretty beneficial to us. So we'll exhaust this. Maybe our opponent doesn't have the hero fall, and we're just kind of, whole time we were just forecasting worst case scenario. I feel like they have it, and they were trying to set up a quick flip of this into a Stroke of Midnight. All right, hero fall for the discard, and I facepalm. If you strangle, I'll be okay. All right. We've now had 4 spiders. Okay. Pretty expected. We're gonna flip that out. We'll hold on to the coin at this point. Pretty worried about the Midnight Gatherer. It's gonna be a 4/4. Ooh. Need to find a Transmogrifade pretty quickly. Okay. It's be a tough one to race out of the reserves. I guess we'll just bring in the other Transmogrifade. Wow. Yep. That's what you play it for. This is just one of the angles that I feel like this deck can take, but it already feels like a very bad matchup for the Empress deck with the fact it's already sporting just a really good removal package. Hero Fall is definitely the place to start if you want to try to beat up on the Empress deck. We'll have to bring in our Zephyrs and our Verdicts. Whoo! Oh yeah, opponent is the full 5 shard brew. We'll run out the skittering cultivator here. So, kind of a free attack with the commander prompt. And if we attack with the prompt, an opponent blocks with Stroke of Midnight, we just let the trade happen. If we attack with prompt, an opponent attempts to block with both of these, we can coin it to flip it back and still get both of our opponent's troops. So the one combat trick that you get to play in this deck. I would imagine they just won't block. Yeah. Okay. Opponent might untap into the Strangle. If that's the case, we'll be able to coin that as well. This card is terrifying. All 5 shards on the skulls there. You're going to coin this. Hoping for the transmography there, but we will take our block and our block. Take our 5. And oh, okay. It's like, oh, interesting stats on that. So we go to 2 to 38. Okay. And let's see. Even with this, yep. All right. Opponent will crack back with the Stroke of Midnight, ending this game pretty quickly. Let's go to the reserves. Early pressure, good removal, easy victory? Yeah, that seems about right. We'll cut this, bring this in. Now, Hero Fall matchup. 1, 1, 1 to start. I feel like we want... So the thought is the verdicts are going to help against the sweepers that our opponent would play, like Ashes to Ashes and the like, and the Zephyrs are going to help against the removal. So we would definitely want the Zephyrs brought in, no question. The other things we could consider to bring in are cards like Lanapau's Sight or Consult the Talon for additional card draw. To access stuff like that, we would look at shaving other troops possibly. We could look at trimming Copycat. What I think we can do here is, let's see, our opponent is trying to put on a little bit more pressure, so I don't think we want to go the full extra card draw. Verdict, yep, we're just going to run with this Arcane Zephyr and try to put an Empress in play and just hope it works out. If we wanted to get these extra card draw effects in, I'd be interested... Okay. Yeah, let's try to go a little bit higher. Or bigger. Cut another prompt. Most of our opponent's removal is just spot removal, like, or sorry, it's Hero Fall and the like, so prompt doesn't do a whole lot there. Yeah, we'll just go with some extra card draw. Alright, let's hope this works out. This is where it gets tough because we can't just, like, play the game of build the biggest board and, you know, get, like, multiple prompts going because our opponent has sweepers. At the same time, we can't be too reactive because they have, well, Midnight, Stroke of Midnight, Midnight Gatherer, which is a really tough one to deal with. So, all right, not super excited about this hand. 2 spells, yeah, we're gonna throw this one back. All right. A little bit better. We can try to fire off the turn 3 Consult the Talons if our opponent doesn't try to do anything. Let's see. I can't imagine the opponent's really incentivized to kill a Warp Steel on their turn. But no, Bride won't be active either. Yeah. Hopefully we can just fire this off. Diamond Shard as well comes in handy. So if they get the blood, yeah. Midnight Gatherer. Alright. right, we consult all the talents we can. Give me 3 delicious cards. Alrighty. That's what I wanted for Christmas. It was a copycat. So copycat's really great here in we can use it to get an additional copy of a card that we trimmed to play around Hero Fall. It seems like a minor thing, but it still gives you the ability to be explosive without just, you know, losing the game on the spot to multiple Hero Falls from your opponent. Okay, if you have the super powerful like double prompt draw, and they're just like, yeah, okay. Kind of an interesting sequence here. We could be copycatting our opponent's Prince Zakah, which I actually am going to go with here. Fired this up. And we're going to do it first. And then we'll transmogrifade his. Okay, so we'll get as a cause. We will then transmogrifade opponent's Zakahs. Great. Don't want that diligence trigger. And swing in with the troops. Now, my guess is the opponent's going to have a way to, you know, destroy this prince before we get to untap and get the diligence trigger, but, you know, maybe we'll get lucky. Copycat for this. Swap it over. Oh, okay. So Skyguard, dead steadfast. No green shard, or sorry, wild shard, so there's no... Just in theory, and get the Zakahs going. See what we hit off of this. Hey. We're gonna point that one there. Opponent's gonna be able to draw a couple cards off of it, but alright, we'll take some threats out. Interesting. So I want to copycat the Magistrate here. Our opponent is not near their sweeper, and we can pretty easily transmogrifade the Forbidden Tome Seeker. If it gets too big, we can get an activation off here with the Magistrate as well, which is just gravy. You activate the Depth Crawler as well, so if you draw another Dreadling source, you can maximize the amount of venom that you retain. Opponent will be forced to kill the Shardsworn. Downside is if it's with Hero Fall, you lose all your other Shardsworns. Alright, so it looks like we were explosive enough there. I think our opponent might have stumbled a little bit to steal that game. So, think a little bit on what our opponent was presenting. I like where we're at. Yeah. Copycatting our opponent's troops seems like a reasonable strategy, especially with Uzu to, you know, be able to fix anything we're missing. All right, we'll just run with the same configuration, drawing the extra cards. Since our opponent is presenting a troop-based version, I don't know if they have the sweepers. You know, that was just an estimation. This looks like I might want to shift my assessment, and this is more troop-based, and they're while they have Hero Fall to keep things in check, it's not to prolong the game. It's honestly for them to be able to beat us up faster. It's got to be a rush to play, like fixing all of your thresholds, just boom, boom, boom. It's like one puzzle after another. It's a sweet one. Alrighty. Let's hope our opponent doesn't just go blood, cultivator, pitch your hand. I wouldn't be too happy. So it's probably the first blood shard here. Okay. Wait, another blood shard. Now, we'll see if we get 3 for 1. Some Zakaz action. Okay. Okay, so let's go Warp Steel. This gives us a Consult here. It's a pretty good draw. Whew. All right. Fortunately, it looks like that Zakaz is going to get 1 spin. What you got? 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 Don't do it, man. No, please. Please. Oh, all right. It's a unique, so I don't. Copycat doesn't say non-unique, right? Yeah, copy of target troop, revert that troop. Withering Gaze is an interesting one. We have Transmogrifade, which is a reasonable thing to protect, but not sure on that one. Unfortunately, I think our best bet here is to run out the Empress. Opponent's not presenting a second blood threshold either. So maybe they don't have the hero fall, and this Empress will be able to run away with the game. This might work out in our favor as well, because we might be able to, between this tap down and then the untap into a Magistrate plus Skittering Cultivator, that might be enough to present lethal next turn. So even if our opponent has the removal spell for the Empress, they will be too far behind on board because they lost their untap. Or their, excuse me, their ready step. They lost their ready step. All right. Interesting the way this lined up as far as being able to just steal 1 ready step from our opponents, or I should just say, you know, they lose the ability to, yeah, cards don't ready. Yeah, they just don't ready. So their resources do. Right. Not how I expected this to run out, but I was also expecting, you know, more removal out of our opponent's deck. So to kind of just go back to what I was saying, you know, after the game 1, it looks like they presented a threat and they provided a good amount of protection from there. What do we got? Wonderful. Opponent does not have the answer. Do we have lethal? I think the answer to that is a resounding yes. Do we have it without? So Magistrate comes in, it's going to give, so 4, 8. Yeah. And this should take care of it. Transmogrifade on the Magistrate kind of resets things, but they would have removed the Empress of Ice. Typically they play the double blood removal anyway, so. It looks like losing the 1 ready step just lined us up well enough to steal this game away. This is just going to just reiterate my previous point. If you put pressure on and you can kill the key pieces, the Empress deck isn't terribly difficult to take apart. But when our opponent was attempting to put on all that pressure and not enough interaction, you know, we threw out a lock piece and just set things up from there. So anyway, this was Kent Cutter with a BattleShopper breakdown. Join me in the wrap-up video at the end here. We'll just kind of go over a couple things. Maybe look at some suggestions for how to improve your play or the reserving with the deck afterwards. So thanks a lot. We'll see you there.